Hey guys, today we're gonna be reacting to MrBeast's legal controversy. This is part 2. So if you haven't watched part 1, I do advise that you go watch that and then come back and watch this one. But this is part 2. Let's proceed.
But I wanted to make a really quick video because I just received a very interesting email that I wanted to share with you. As I mentioned before, I'm in touch with crew members and people working on Beast games. I've also been in contact with the people who are the IATSE union, both in Las Vegas, where the first week of shooting happened, as well in Canada, where the next round will be shooting. For those of you who don't know what IATSE is, it's spelled IATSE, and basically they are the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, and they represent the people behind the scenes who make TV shows and movies. They have over 168,000 members, and pretty much every large set I've ever been on, it's IATSE crews. Now, I'll have more info on this in the future, but a higher up in the industry who I trust more than anything, literally, you guys, I trust him with my life. And I know that sounds dramatic, but that's truly how I feel about this person. They said that Jimmy and his team specifically requested that Beast Games be non-union. This is for a few reasons. Mainly so Jimmy wouldn't have to pay the crew benefits, but also these unions require very strict safety guidelines. From what I'm hearing as well, MrBeast's team was in charge of hiring the crew and they couldn't find enough non-union people to hire, so they were forced to hire union members. The MrBeast team still said they would not pay anyone's benefits.
Why does he not want people from the union? This could be for authenticity purposes. This could be because, as she stated, the union does require certain safety protocols be met prior to proceeding or prior to recording, and due to MrBeast's nature of his content is competitions and pranks and stuff like that, due to his nature and his type of content that he produces, I can see why he would want it to be more authentic and not so scripted and not so quote unquote safe, because that thus then ensure that it's scripted if it has to be within certain parameters. So I could see why he wouldn't want that.
Is to be filmed. It states the following. I'm going to be reading off the phone. Dear members of IATSE, MrBeast parentheses Beast Games, aka Project Greenlight, and just so people know, like TV shows and movies have project names, like secret project names, and this one's secret project name is Greenlight, has been deemed an unfair production. As per Section 12 of the Constitution and bylaws, parentheses see below, no member of IATSE is permitted to work on this production. Now this is Section 12, unfair job. No member of local shall work on any job that is declared unfair. For the purpose of these bylaws, any motion picture work taking place within the jurisdiction of IATSE that is not taking place under a signed collective agreement or letter of understanding with a local shall be considered unfair. A member refusing to leave a job declared unfair or which falls under the definition contained herein shall be expelled from the membership. So at a bare minimum, this shows that Jimmy never planned to make Beast Games a union show. He wants to hire union workers, he wants the quality, but he doesn't want to pay for them. In my opinion, and from the stories that I've heard, Jimmy pays very little and did not want to cover people's benefits. Amazon gave
I have 2 comments I want to make right there. Number 1, from what I've heard, he doesn't pay. Well, that's hearsay. We don't know if he does pay. We don't know how much MrBeast pays his crew members. We are making assumptions. She's making an assumption. But I do want to go back to the email that she was referencing. In the email, it does state, number 1, it does state jurisdiction, because I did notice that in the beginning of the video, she did comment that it would be filmed in the USA, in California, I believe she said, and then some of it would be filmed in Canada. Now, I don't know. I'm an attorney in Texas. I don't know Canadian laws. However, those are different jurisdictions, so the laws are unlikely to be the same. Furthermore, it does state that if there is a signed collective agreement or a letter of understanding, then that's okay. So when they stated that it was considered unfair, it is assuming there is no signed collective agreement or letter of understanding, which I consider is highly unlikely considering MrBeast, the monetary resources he has, the length that he's been doing this, and the team he has around him. So I do consider that to be very unlikely. So I do want to point that out. There is an exception to the rule in the email that she did state, which is having a signed collective agreement or a letter of understanding.
Expelled from the Met quality, but he doesn't want to pay for them. In my opinion, and from the stories that I've heard, Jimmy pays very little and did not want to cover people's benefits. Amazon gave Jimmy $100 million to make this game show. That is plenty of money to make a safe show. And I want to know, where's the money going? Like, where is the money going?
That's plenty of money to make a safe show. And I do believe that MrBeast did provide a safe environment because as I stated in part 1, there were no deaths that were caused, there were injuries, but that is foreseeable in any competition, especially if it's involving physical activity. Furthermore, she wants to know where it's going, and unless she makes that request or unless it's open records, open public data, then she's technically not entitled to that. He can do as he wishes with the money that was given to him by Amazon. That's a contract between Amazon and MrBeast, not Amazon, MrBeast, and the public.
It's not going to pay for the crew and their benefits. It's not going for...
And once again, I do want to reiterate that she doesn't know what the crew is getting paid. She doesn't know how much MrBeast. She's assuming because she has heard around that he doesn't pay his crew members much. She's never been a crew member, thus she doesn't have personal knowledge. Thus, she cannot herself attest to how much or how little MrBeast pays or provides for his crew.
Safety protocol, it's not going to quality food. And it's just interesting to me that someone who claims that they want to give back and they care about people doesn't seem to do it when the cameras aren't rolling. And one last thing I just realized, the name for Beast Games Project is Greenlight, which is a reference to the first contest on the show's Squid Games where they kill off half the contestants.
Where they kill off half the contestants. Exactly. Because I do believe in Squid Games, they were killed off. Thank God MrBeast did not kill off anybody here. So I do want to reiterate that.
And I just got confirmation from someone at the Las Vegas shoot that the shoot name there was codename Project Red Light. Red light, green light. In my opinion, Jimmy thinks he is recreating the Squid Games. And I'll just leave you with this. It's a picture of Jimmy on set in an outfit inspired by the villain from Squid Games.
I don't think MrBeast, but I don't know. Same way she doesn't know. I don't think he thinks he's recreating Squid Games because if he were, then he would kill people off like they do in Squid Games.
I think he's inspired.
So I think he's inspired, but I don't think that he is I don't think he thinks he's recreating because if he were, he would kill off like they did in Squid Games. In this case, he didn't. He made it safe. No one died. Sure, some sustained injuries, but $5 million were given out as well.
MrBeast's most watched video is a recreation of a Squid Game, but without killing, obviously.
Without killing.
It's just an inspiration.
Which further proves that MrBeast does take into consideration the safety of the contestants.
And he's been known to pay whoever participates so they don't leave empty-handed. He's been known to give them a little bit of money as well.
So now I know that the $1,000 that were offered to the first from part 1 was not even for her to release anything. It's just because MrBeast probably was a nice guy and he didn't want her to leave empty-handed. So now my thinking has totally changed. Now I'm not thinking that it was done to pay her off, but now I'm thinking it was done so that she wouldn't leave empty-handed because I'm sure she spent a lot of time, weeks, I'm sure, devoting herself to his competition. And once again, I want to give credit to Rosanna Pansino for allowing me to react. Once again, this is just my legal advice. I do admire her. She was the one that had the courage to go up against MrBeast, which in and of itself was something that no one else had done previously to her. So I do give her credit for that. This is just my legal reaction to the allegations that are being made. All right, guys, thank you guys for watching. This was part 2. Make sure you tune in for part 3.